Alright, and welcome to the easiest lesson ever in Algebra 1. Now we're going to talk about line of best fit, and basically you use a line of best fit whenever you're looking at data. Okay, and so whenever we look at data, you want to say what's the best way to model it, and we have a lot of different ways to model data, but in Algebra 2 we're really going to focus on kind of some basics. So everybody take a look at example 1. What is a line of best fit? Well, the question is what line best fits the data points. And you'll notice they're all very tightly compacted and they almost seem to form a straight line. So what you do is you just draw a straight line through them, and we would actually call this a linear regression. So if we wanted to model this data, we would type in all of the x and y values of each point. We would run a linear regression, and it would actually some sort of computer or calculator would give us a linear function to best model the data. Now you'll notice here that, for example 2, if I drew a straight line, well, it really doesn't capture the right hand side of the data. So what's our line of best fit here? Well, in this one it is this U shape, and so wait a second, what kind of graph gives us a U shape? Well, of course that is going to be what we call a quadratic regression. And this is actually very useful in businesses, and I would say anything with finance. Governments can use this to regulate taxes, and also, of course, any sort of projectile motion. Okay, example 3, you'll notice this one doesn't really have a U shape. It really kind of starts up high, and then it curves down, but it tends to level off. So what do we call something that is curved? Well, this line of best fit will be an exponential regression. Of course, I'll abbreviate regression. Okay? And now, lastly, well, what about here? Well, you can see these dots are kind of just a blob all over the place. And you can think of any two things that are kind of unrelated. So, like, what if down here we had shoe size, and here we had IQ? Does the amount of intelligence that a person have really depend on how big their foot is? And of course the answer is no. All right. You could come up with all sorts of ridiculous things. You could say here the number of times you eat pizza in a week versus, I don't know, something crazy, the number of times that you go bowling. All right. Or maybe let's do something a little bit crazier. The number of times you go to archery practice. All right, just two things that are completely unrelated. And since there's no line of best fit, we actually just call this no correlation. We say that there is no correlation. All right, easiest lesson ever. I'll see y'all guys in the next video.